EA, you suck. This is a cow's opinion. And welcome back. If I sound a little less happy-peppy than I usually am, it's because both the subject matter and got some terrible personal news that we won't get into on the channel right now was not a... You ever have one of those days where you're at your day job and the day job's going pretty well and you're like, it's not bad. I think I did pretty well. And as soon as you get off, you're like, oh, by the way, this happened in your non-work life. You're like, oh, God, that sucks. And I'm really not happy about it. So, I was looking up stuff, and guess what I found? And we got updates as well on this article. But Electronic Arts has also joined the parade of terrible news and is laying off 5% of its workforce. That is on a restructuring plan. Now, the company employs 13,400 staffers as of March of last year, according to the most recent filing, which means around 670 people. EA CEO and awful human being Andrew Wilson has said that given how and where we are working, we are continuing to optimize our global real estate footprint to best support our business. We are also sunsetting games and moving away from development of future licensed IP that we do not believe will be successful in our changing industry. In other words, they overpaid for big names and then they can't get them to freaking make enough money. This greater focus allows us to drive creativity, accelerate innovation, insert other weird catchphrases and buzzwords, and double down on our biggest opportunities. This is the part that's important. Including our owned IP, sports, and massive online communities to deliver the entertainment players want today and tomorrow. So basically, EA, if you know, they make lots of games from other IPs, but now they're focusing more on the stuff that they actually own, sports, and stuff that's going to have a massive online community where you can have a continuous revenue stream. And based on how much money they overcharge you for annual sports games, I can understand why they're doing that. So we'll get to the updates in a second. Lastly, we are streamlining our company operations to deliver deeper, more connected experiences for fans everywhere that build community, shape, culture, and grow fandom, while also letting us overcharge for online content. Reading between the lines here. While not every team will be impacted, this is the hardest part of the changes, and we have deeply considered every option to try and limit impacts to our teams, but we're more focused on the stock price and our short-term goals instead of the long-term health and well-being of projects and this company. Our primary goal is to provide team members with opportunities to find new roles and paths to transition onto other projects. We don't care if they work here or not as long as we get our money. Where that's not possible, we will support and work with each colleague with the utmost attention, care, and respect. Communicating these impacts has already begun and will largely be completed by early next quarter. So I got a problem with this part right here, because you just told 1 out of 20 of your employees know they're going to be gone, and you're going to make some of them wait up to 2 to 3 months. And even if you're keeping your job, now you're really stressed for the next 2 to 3 months. Because freaking, I don't know if I'm cut or not. I don't know if I have a job. The actions associated with the plan are expected to be substantially complete by end of this calendar year. So here's the important stuff that you need to know. So game industry, I'm so angry I didn't even quote the person at the top of the article. Pardon me, Mr. Tom Ivan here at Video Games Chronicles. But here's the important stuff. Game industry is saying that they've canceled a licensed game as part of the plan, but an EA representative told the site that the company's Black Panther and Iron Man games are still in development. They are not affected. It was previously announced, however, that Star Wars Jedi Studio Respawn was working on 2 more Star Wars games. And EA announced a similar restructuring plan last March, which is, 2023, where it laid off 6% of their workforce, which impacted 700. So within 2 years, they're going to let go of about almost 1,500 people approaching. And now remember, in January, Microsoft cut 1,900 staffers across all their stuff for 8%. Just yesterday, PlayStation told us that they were going to lay off 900, which is 8% of their workforce. And we have game developer Farhan Noor, excuse me, sir, who has been tracking the job cuts dating back to the start of 2023 on videogamelayoffs.com. That's probably a website we'll be going to a lot. Estimates that around 10,500 industry employees laid off last year, but we're not even finished with the second month of this year, and we're sitting at 7,800. Less than 3,000 from matching last year. And it's only going to get worse, guys. Now, we did have updates, and these updates are kind of actually important. So, sources have said that a first-person Star Wars shooter at Respawn has been canceled. Now, this obviously is a little interesting because it goes against their owned IP. They don't own Star Wars. And you know what? I think it was supposed to be a mainly single-player experience, which is why it also went against the massive online communities. So that's why that's gone. This was announced back in 2022 by LucasArts veteran and Medal of Honor co-creator Peter Hirschman. That would have been cool. Who also worked on the original Battlefront games, The Force Unleashed, and more. Most recently, 2020 VR title Medal of Honor Above and Beyond. But EA president Laura Mia confirmed the cancellation of the Star Wars FPS. Respawn's unique ability to connect with players and create exceptional game experiences is unrivaled in entertainment. As we've looked at Respawn's portfolio over the last few months, what's clear is the games all players are most excited about are Jedi and Respawn's rich library of owned brands. Knowing this, we have decided to pivot away from early development on a Star Wars FPS action game to focus our efforts on the new projects based on our own brands while providing support for existing games. It's always hard to walk away from a project, but not for me because I'm president and I'm not, even though my inexperience and inability to help the CEO is what helped cause this stuff, we are still getting all bonuses this year, don't you worry. I mean, I have no respect for any of these executives, honestly, right now. And this decision is not a reflection of the team's talent, tenacity, or passion that they have for the game. You can tell I'm upset. Giving fans the next installment of the iconic franchises they want is the definition of blockbuster storytelling and the right place to focus. But people are really excited about that game. She's like, oh, but we're canceling it because it doesn't fit in these tenets that they have now, which is owned IP, sports, and massive online community. EA also is closing Ridgeline Games, formed in 2021 to work on a future Battlefield single-player game. The Seattle-based studio had been staffing up for its debut project, which was a narrative campaign in the Battlefield universe. And the studio's co-founder was Halo co-creator Marcus Little, had departed the company last week for apparent personal reasons, and reacted to the news on Twitter, suggesting he was unaware of plans to close Ridgeline. So all of this sucks. The one good news I can find is, remember in this article it said that Respawn was working on 2 Star Wars games. The third one is the third in the trilogy of the Jedi Survivor. So we are getting the end of that. They are working on that. That game series has, even though it doesn't fit in their new core tenets of owning their IP, being a sports title, or having a massive online community, the previous 2 entries in that trilogy have sold well enough to where they're willing to finish out that contract and make the third game, which is good. I think those games are cool, and if you like them like I do, we'll get in the ending. So that's awesome. But all the rest of this news is suck, and guys, I got nothing. I mean, like I said, I had a bad day. I'm not nearly as happy as I usually am, and this is going to continue. This is going to be the normal this year. These companies made massive bets during the global stay-at-home period that we can't say so YouTube doesn't suppress this video. And they thought that this was the new normal until we were all able to go outside and hug each other again and high-five. And then like, oh no, people are high-fiving. Well, that sucks. This is definitely something that we're going to want to keep. Yeah. Here's 2023. Here's 2024. There it is. I think Activision Blizzard's winning based on head count. Yeah, 1,900. There it is, guys. this sucks, and it's going to continue, and I've got no good news. I hope that these guys make their own games and their own companies, and I hope that they do well. If you're being affected by this, honestly, my heart goes out to you. I got thoughts and prayers for you because I can't really do anything else right now. I'm not trying to be facetious or mean, but the people at the top made bets, and the bets aren't panning out, and they're saying that they're sorry, but they're still getting paid huge bonuses, and for the most part, they're still doing this stuff. So, screw you all for this. And yeah, if you're an independent developer, don't sell out to a big game company, because they use you, and then in a couple years, even if your game division is doing great, you can still get laid off because the company is not doing well. And that sucks, and that's terrible, and I hate it, and there's nothing we can do about it. Just support games, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think. Hey, if you want to get really cryptic and morbid, put in the comments down below which company that has not announced game layoffs do you think is coming up next, because I guarantee you more is on the way. And you know what else you can do? You can play more games, because games are awesome. You deserve awesome. No one deserves this garbage. I'll see you next time. Bleh.